Good morning, everyone, and hello from Toronto, Canada. This is Amir Ismail live with you, and we have another question and answer session underway. So, those of you who are new here today, my name is Amir Ismail, and I'm a authorized citizenship and immigration advisor based in Toronto. And my company, Amir Ismail and Associate, has been assisting clients in immigrating to Canada and also for their temporary residence applications like student visas and visitor visas for the last 30 years. So it's been a pleasure assisting clients, and we arrange these information sessions and question and answer sessions with our clients to remain in contact with them and provide them updates. So it's always a pleasure. We do these sessions every Friday, 11 a.m. EST. So if you are new here, make sure that you join us on the given time and share this information with your friends, relatives, and colleagues who are interested in seeking assistance in immigrating to Canada through a licensed advisor. So, without further ado, we will dive right into our question and answers. We are going to display these on the screen, and we would then answer them one by one. I'll be joined by my colleague, my international director, Khwaja Numan Ahmed, as well shortly, and he will be assisting me with the answering of some of the questions. So, before we proceed ahead, let me just acknowledge some of our participants today who are with us. Simon saying hello. Thank you for joining us, Samuel. Hasan Anwar is joining us. I don't know, Hasan, if you are joining us for the first time, but welcome from LinkedIn. Bhaskar is with us today as well. Hello, Bhaskar. How are you? Azam Ishaq is with us today as well. So, by the way, this broadcast is going live simultaneously on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So if you're joining us from all these three channels, thank you very much. Kashif Rahman, good morning. How are you? Malik Gizar Salim is with us today as well. I'm just acknowledging people very quickly, and then we're gonna take up questions as well. Mushtaq Ahmad is asking about the easiest way, so we're gonna do that. Zia Liaquat Sahutra, if I'm not mistaken, all the way from Malta, if I remember correctly. Thank you for joining us today. I don't know where are you guys joining us, but if you want to mention that, that will be great to know which part of the world you are joining us from. That's great. Hasan is saying, going for the first time, welcome, very, very warm welcome, son. And someone that I cannot read the name is also joining us, so it doesn't matter as long as you're with us. Sabah Yunus is also joined us, and she's a regular. Thank you for being with us. We have Zaman asking about the opportunity, so I'm going to start taking those questions, Zaman, and we're going to be asking those questions. Abdul Rauf is joining us from Dubai. So there are a lot of people who have joined us from Dubai. I can see people from Malta, Dubai, USA, Pakistan, India. I can also see Oman, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. But I think somehow Dubai is dominating. Okay, so let's start with our first question. And question number one is coming from Azam Ishaq. He is a pharmacist and he's working in the UAE. Again, the UAE. He is 38.5 years old and has 11 years of experience. So commendable work experience. You have spent a lot of time in this profession already, and you are still young. From the point of view of immigration, you might have seen that the way they have designed the system, it is it's somehow encouraging younger applicants. So by saying that, I'm not suggesting that you're old, but they start deducting points from age 30. There is a comprehensive ranking system where points are allocated on various factors: age, education, experience, and language skills. And age plays a very vital role. And I don't know if they are going to review this criteria, because by sticking to this kind of a stringent criteria on age, they're actually losing out on a lot of um, good immigrants, educated, highly educated, and experienced immigrants like yourself, who are, in the range of early 40s or even mid 40s, but they can contribute to the Canadian economy wonderfully, but they are being disadvantaged. But having said that, a lot of people who are being disadvantaged because of any factor such as age or um, sometimes educational qualification, even, because I've seen that sometimes you have everything in order, but since you don't have a master's degree, you are losing out. You're losing points, and the pass rank, which is usually hovering around 460 to 470, you end up getting lower score, and you end up not being able to get selected under the mainstream federal skilled worker program. So for these people who are losing points because of age factor, for education, or for due to the loss of points in the language test, the IELTS test, and that is another area which the Canadian government might be looking into, because there are a lot of applicants who are really nice. I mean, they have great work experience. They are in right age bracket, and they have nice IELTS score like 7, 8. But somehow, somewhere in, say, in writing component, they score 6.5, and as a result, their score goes down, and they don't get selected, and they have to rely on something called provincial nominee program or a job offer. Job offer, in my point of view, is something very, very difficult, next to impossible in my point of view, because the employers are usually not interested in hiring people from overseas unless you are working in a profession that is in very, very high demand. And so the employer is unable to find someone in from within Canada. But suffice to say that someone who is not scoring I would say 440 to 470 ranking points, their chances of being selected under the mainstream federal skilled worker program diminish. And that is where they have to rely on provincial programs. So look into it. If unfortunately your profession is not in demand anywhere, then you might not stand very good chances. Then you might have to look into other options. Like, a lot of people, they come to Canada on student visa, they upgrade their qualification and apply for immigration, but that's not possible for many people. So what I'm trying to say is that you have to look into it from all angles, and let's see if you succeed. If you would be interested in setting up a consultation with us, our team actually set aside time specifically for people who are not making it through due to any reason, and search an option for them. So we'll be happy to do that. Hope that answers the question. Azim, thank you very much for joining us. And since you said, can you help express entry? I've tried to explain to you. Um, Samuel is asking, what is the best way to immigrate to Canada these days as pandemic is going on? So very good question. The pandemic has had no impact on Canadian immigration in terms of, like, yes, of course, the borders were closed, and there was an impact in terms of applicants or people who were issued visas. They were not able to travel to Canada. So naturally, the uh, inflow of immigrants decreased, but it didn't mean that there was any change in immigration criteria, or there was any um, stoppage. The immigration continued. There was a slight change in the strategy, though, where the Canadian government is preferring people who are already in Canada, such as international students. But in terms of processing application, yes, there might be delays because they were working at a fraction of their capacity. But first of all, the situation is not going to last, because we're going toward, hopefully, a better situation where everyone will be vaccinated, hopefully, and borders are going to open. But even during pandemic, Canada has sustained its immigration. It has sustained its inflow. And yes, the border closure might be hampering the uh, entrance of immigrants, but look at the draws happening. Look at provinces selecting uh, immigrants. Look at federal government conducting draws. Thousands of people are being selected even during these days. So there might be a general impression that pandemic might have stopped immigration, or maybe there is nothing going on. It's not the case. So if you are not making your express entry profile, if you're not considering applying for immigration to Canada, and you're thinking that I do have that plan, but I will do so after this is over, what if it doesn't get over? God forbid. I'm not suggesting that in any way, but yeah, anything that is worse, humankind, people have the capacity, the God-given capacity to overcome that. So if there's a problem, there's always a solution, and the solution we can see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel right now. No impact on immigration, and if you have plans, don't you delay them. Okay. Hope that answers the question. Bhaskar is raising a question: how can you get a job offer from India? So I believe you're saying that you are in India and you're trying to secure a job offer in Canada. So the same principle applies. If you're interested in working for a Canadian employer, approach them, and approach them directly or through the mediums like LinkedIn or many other job sites, or speak to a licensed recruiter. Uh, Recruiters are licensed in Canada, right? Instead of dealing with the person at the corner of your street, someone who's offering jobs against money. It is against Canadian law to offer jobs and charge money. It's an indictable offense in Canada. Don't fall prey to these people. Um, when a licensed recruiter helps you in securing a job in Canada, they don't charge you, and they are not supposed to. They are not legally allowed to charge any money from the job seeker. So turn your back to these people who are charging money. It is difficult to secure a job because Canadian employers are required by law to hire people from the local market, Canadian citizens, permanent residents. They are obliged to. But if they fail to find someone, naturally they have the right to hire someone from overseas. And to do that, they have to prove that they did their best to find, and they did not leave any stone unturned to find a suitable employer in Canada, or employee in Canada. So they have to go through a very rigorous process. It is termed as labor market impact assessment. And most of them are not interested in going through all this pain if they can find someone locally. So be very, very careful. Okay. Kashif Rahman is asking the question: what is the probability for student visa at the age of 35? So Kashif, age doesn't matter in terms of a person's desire to improve their educational qualification. Yes, there are two things involved. First, securing admission, which is probably be allowed, probably be given to you, because universities and colleges, they are in the business of course, not only imparting good quality education, but also making money from international students. So naturally, international student is a priority, and international students are a priority for Canadian government as well. So if you would look at the recent draws, the express entry draws, you would see that most of them are directed towards, like 90% of people in 2021 who were considered for immigration were under Canada Experience Class. And Canada Experience Class is for people who are in Canada on a work permit, or who have been former international students. They graduated, they got their postgraduate work permit, and then they applied for immigration. And some of them were mature students who decided to pursue education in Canada, and they were considered. So the second step involved is to apply for a study permit, and you have to convince the visa officer dealing with you, your application, that you really are a genuine student. There is a genuine desire of you studying in Canada, and you don't really are interested in establishing yourself here permanently. Although at the end of the day, it is the Canadian government is going to encourage you to stay back, right? Because they really want people to come study and prove to be better immigrants. So I think it makes a lot of sense for Canadian government to prefer international students, right? So I think probability would all depend on how well you document your intentions, your ability to finance your studies, and the good enough reason as to how would that degree or qualification, the Canadian qualification that you are thinking about securing from Canada, is going to help you in your career in Canada, or in your home country, right? Okay, so that's good. Let's take a few more questions. Mushtaq Ahmed is asking, what is the easiest way to Canada? Master's education and 7 years experience, 33 years of age. So Mushtaq, these factors that you've indicated, age, educational qualification, work experience, and of course, we would also consider the language skills. These all play a role in determining your overall eligibility. I would recommend that you provide us these details in the form of your CV, and the best way to do that is complete our assessment form on our website. And the ticker going at the bottom, it has our website given, www.amirismail.com. It has a free assessment form, and we would be happy to make an assessment of your eligibility within 2 business days. It's free. It will give you an idea whether you can go through the mainstream program or do you have to have other option considered. For example, provincial omni programs, right? We're gonna do that. Before we proceed ahead, let's take a very short break, and when we come back, we would include Khwaja Naman, our operations director, as well. He has been facing a little bit of problem with his internet, but we'll see if he can join us. Okay, let's join you in a few moments. All right, welcome back. So let's take a few questions, and I try to add Naman Saab in this, and let's see if we can find him, because he was having a little bit of trouble with his internet. We tried. It seems that he's still offline. Yeah, he's still offline. So we'll try to add him again. Let's take a few more questions. Moin Ahmed, but is saying change looks. Okay, thank you very much, Moin. It's nothing. I'm just getting old. We have Mateen with us today as well from Facebook. Thank you for joining us today, Mateen. Facebook, Hamid Yarkan. So suddenly we have a surge in people joining us from Facebook today. Naim Khan, Muzaffar Anzai. Okay, and we have a LinkedIn user. I don't know the name, but he's saying that he's electrical engineer with 11 years of experience, age is 35. Is it possible to immigrate? Yeah, if you are meeting the criteria, and it appears that you're meeting the minimum criteria, and in my point of view, I think that you're losing points in the age factor. As I indicated earlier, they start deducting ranking points from age 30. You are 35. Plus, you don't have a master's degree, a little bit of disadvantage when you're losing points, and at the same time, you don't have a master's degree. And I'm not too sure about your language skills, so it will, of course, depend on your IELTS score. We can look into the possibility of you getting additional 600 points that are achievable through a provincial nomination. Naturally, you have to be careful, you have to be vigilant, you have to keep an eye on various nominee options so that you don't end up losing, you know, or wasting time on programs that, where you don't qualify, basically. Okay. Okay, so let's take another question from Janvi. She's an Indian undergrad. She's going to Canada for masters. It's a 2 years program, and she wished to get PR after that. And she's asking the suggestion that if it is valuable to do her masters from Canada, how long does it take to get PR? So, Janvi, I believe that you might have done your own research about the value of Canadian education. And if you compare it with other destination that usually international students consider, there might be some advantages depending on your preferences. For example, Canadian degrees are usually considered, cost-wise, more cost-effective, right? So yeah, I think you can consider Canadian education. It might be useful for you for your career. It will be, in my point of view. Yes, definitely, it will be useful. It will be valuable. But yeah, a lot of people do have plans to go to a country where they get a quality education, but they also want to um, have the prospects of settling down in that country permanently. So some countries, as I see, like Australia, for example, they did have very good option of establishing there after graduating. But I believe there have been some changes, which is precluding a lot of international students in becoming permanent resident after completing their education. So I think Canada, from that point of view, offers great opportunity for international students. And yes, once you graduate, you can apply for a postgraduate work permit. And after that, you can also apply for permanent residence if you qualify under Canada Experience class. A lot of people have work experience already from their home country that they might even don't have to wait for a year to accumulate work experience. The added points that you get, additional points you get after graduating, like 30 extra points under the education factor, would help you in even qualify under the federal skilled worker program. So yeah, I think it's a very good option. You can look into it. Zaman Mahmoud is asking, he wants to know how can he get the opportunity to immigrate to Canada, as he's a chartered accountant for Pakistan. Um, and he's an experienced auditor. So Zaman, as I indicated to other people, that there are various factors involved. Age is one of the important factor. We can look into your age, your education qualification, as and is professional qualification will get you good points in education factor. Work experience, I'm sure that you have good work experience as well. And if you have got 6 years or more, in fact, you get maximum points, ranking points, when you have 3 years or more experience. But some provinces prefer more experience, like Saskatchewan would appreciate if you have 10 or more years of experience. It enhances your chances of consideration by that province. Plus, if you are young, and I can see your picture, you appear to be a young person, most probably below the age of 30, if I'm not mistaken. But even if you are below the age of 40, your chances are very good. Okay. Samuel is advising that he's got 2 years bachelor's degree and diploma in hotel management from Malaysia, 8 years experience in industry. So your profession is very much in demand, Samuel. We can look into the possibility. And one good thing that we do is, and I believe everyone should, even if they're applying on their own or if they're speaking to another advisor, they should be looking into the eligibility comprehensively and then decide whether you should give it a shot or not. Okay. So we'll do that once you complete our assessment form. Peer Yasser Iqbal is asking, with low bands in IELTS, can you apply for immigration? So you have to look at the minimum requirement. The minimum requirement for the language score in order to be able to create your express entry profile is a 6 bands in each component, six IELTS bands in each component of IELTS. So, reading, writing, speaking, and listening, you need to score at least six in order to be able to enter the pool and be considered by provinces that require you to have an express entry profile, because some of the programs are the provincial programs are aligned with the express entry. And if you're unable to create the profile, then of course you hamper your chances. So, six bands is the minimum requirement, but there are other factors as well. You need to score at least 67 points on the express entry, the grid, the points grid, when you are entering the pool. So if you don't have with those six bands, if you can't score, if you can't reach to 67 points, say if you reach to 66 or 65, you would still not be able to enter the pool. Naturally, you would need more, maybe 6.5 in two of the components, and maybe six would be sufficient. But since you are competing with a lot of applicants, even in the provincial programs, you have to strive to get the best. Aim for the highest score, and I can wish you best of luck. Okay. Okay. Shazad Nawaz is joining us. So I'm actually receiving a lot of comments. So just bear with me because I'm trying to just scroll through each one of these, and yeah, and I'm acknowledging at the same time uh, people joining us. Okay. Haman is saying he's from Karachi, and his question is, what are the opportunities who don't have IELTS? Master's degree, IQS, 16 years. So if you don't have IELTS, you can't apply under the economic immigration. You need to have IELTS. It's sort of mandatory requirement. So go for it, and it will be okay. Okay. Mateen is saying he is a European national and his age is 26. And does he have any chances to immigrate to Canada? So the nationality doesn't matter. Your factors that are involved, as I indicated earlier, age, educational qualification, work experience, language skills, these are the factors that are taken into account. So if you are meeting the criteria, you should be okay regardless of your nationality. Okay. Let's take another question from Salman, and he's saying he has 10 plus years of power plant experience in Pakistan, GCC, and has a higher diploma in power plant. He doesn't have a bachelor's degree and he has professional courses only. So, Salman, depending on the route you took to get that diploma and the duration of that diploma, uh, that educational factor points could be allocated. And then we can look into other factors as well, like your age, your work experience. And some provinces, if your concern is that you might not be able to get the required ranking score, some provinces actually prefer some of the professions. So, being a technical person, I'm sure that your profession might be in demand in some of the provinces, and that is the case, then we can apply you under those programs. So, get in touch with my team. As I indicated earlier, there's an assessment form on our website. You can complete that form, and we can look into the possibility of applying. And if you don't stand a chance, we would say don't apply. Okay. Sajid Hasan Meher is saying that he's from Pakistan. Sorry, I just got straight. Thank you for joining us, Sajid. Hamad is joining us from Saudi Arabia. Ali is joining us from Saudi Arabia. Atta is joining us from Karachi. Kamran Aman, thank you for joining us. Asif Raza has a question that he is 38. He has got a Masters of Science IT degree from UK, and he got it 2 years ago. He's got 1 year of UK experience as paid intern. Want to come to Canada, Ontario. So for those who have secured their work experience as internees, and if that was part of your degree, that it was mandatory for you to do that internship, and without which you could have not secured that degree, that work experience might not be considered. So, but if it was not part of your degree, if it was obtained after your degree, and it was obtained at a workplace, it was not attached to that work, that degree, it might be considered, because you need to be able to meet the definition of work experience. It has to be paid, full time, continuous, and there has to be certain number of hours. So we would look into that. Once you complete our assessment form, we'll advise you whether that experience is going to be uh, considered. If you have work experience in any other country where you have resided, the previous work experience, that would also be counted, right? So I'm assuming that you have more work experience. This 1 year UK experience is just an addition. So if that is the case, we would be able to look to it. Okay. Okay, so let's take another question. A lot of people joining us from LinkedIn. I think uh, we have most of the people from LinkedIn today. Yamin is also coming from LinkedIn. How are you, Yamin? Good to see you. Uh, Same question. I mean, I've tried to answer it, but as I said, there is no easiest or hardest way. Basically, there is a set criteria by Government of Canada, and you can look it up on their website as well, cic.gc.ca. That's the official website. That's the most authentic website. That's the most reliable website. So do a bit of research. There are tools as well, which you can use to determine whether you are meeting the minimum requirements or not. But if you would ask me, I would always like to see all the other factors, and I would always want to make an assessment of your eligibility to see whether you qualify or not. Okay. So yeah, provide us your details by way of our assessment form. I'll be happy to look into it personally and get back to you. Okay. Hasan has added to his previous question that he's 28 and he's got tons of experience in retail and account. That's good to know, and hopefully we'll be able to help you. Yeah, people are joining us from Facebook as well. I think there is a tug of war going between Facebook and LinkedIn today, and good to see that. Naeem is saying he is electrical engineer, 36 years of age. He's got 7 CLB, ECA has been done, and he has got provided. And wife is a general physician. That's very good, from MCC. That's wonderful. And any possibility for immigration? I already applied to NFL. Any chance in any province? I can wish you best of luck. You seem to be a very knowledgeable person who has done his research, also applied in provinces. So you basically have done anything and everything in your power to make yourself available for a selection. So hopefully it happens soon for you. Okay. Okay. So there is a big comment coming from Peter Yasser Iqbal. So I would say instead of we doing an assessment online live for you, we can do that by way of our assessment form. Complete that, and we will take into account all this information. And that assessment form will have your CV attached to it as well. So let's get that ball rolling, and we can make an assessment. And let's see. Okay. Imran Shabazz is saying, can we expect FSW soon for people not in Canada? Any prediction when? So it's a very, very good question, Imran. And I think only those people should be considered concerned about FSW who have 460 plus ranking points, because we have seen in the past 10 months or so the selection criteria or the pass rank has been hovering around 460 to 470. What about those who don't have 460 and 470? All these people are relying on provincial nomination, and provincial nomination have not stopped. So unless you are in the category of 470 or something and you don't have a nomination and you're waiting for FSW to open, that makes sense. But even if FSW opens and someone doesn't have 460 or 470, they will be relying on PNP. And PNP never stopped. You have seen that provinces continue to nominate people. They continue to select people from the express entry pool. They then continue to accept their application. They continue to process their application. They continue to approve or disapprove their application. And if they approve the application, they are given or credited 600 points in their express entry profile. And then the Canadian government never stopped conducting draws for provincial nominee applicants through the entire of 2021. Yes, the number of people they have invited are less, but they continued it. And these people are overseas. Uh, some of them are overseas, and I think most of them are overseas. If you've been nominated by Alberta, uh, Saskatchewan, so a lot of people they confuse nomination by the province. Yes, nomination by the province, but at the end of the day, it is the federal government that's gonna invite you for permanent residence by way of an express entry draw, and that express entry draw has not stopped for uh, PNP applicants. Hope that answers the question. That question was actually on the agenda, and I was hoping that Khwaja Numan is going to discuss that. But I think he's been having some internet issue. I'm going to add him again because I can see him now joining us again. Let's see if we can have him again. Okay, so I've tried adding him again. Okay, let's see if he can. Okay, so I think internet is causing a problem. I think internet is causing a problem at this end. Here, and first world country problems, right? Internet is not working for us. Okay, there's a question coming from YouTube. Good to see people joining us from YouTube today as well. Farooq Nizam is saying his IELTS journal training is expiring next month. Is it possible to write it again and keep EE and SINP while going for admission in university? Does technical university generally accept IELTS journal for masters under SDS? I believe the language score. I mean, in terms of Canadian government, there's no issue when you're applying for the study permit. But what about the admission? If the university requires you to produce an IELTS that is academic, then of course you have to go for it. For the study permit purposes, I believe there is no issue, right? And for the express entry profile, as soon as it expires, your profile expires too. SINP, you can deal with them directly, and you can tell them that you have created another express entry profile if it happens so that your profile expires due to the expiry of the IELTS, and you recreate the profile and your SINP profile was still valid. You can deal with the SINP and you can tell them that now I have a new profile, so update your records. Okay, that helps, I hope. Shahzeb Shamim, thank you, Shahzeb, for joining. He's from Pakistan. He is CIMA qualified with 1 year of job experience. How he's asking me, how do I see the demand for accountancy management or accountants for both immigration and job prospects? So job prospects, you can do your research, of course. There are outlooks given, province-wise, city-wise, workingcanada.com. You can visit all these Statistics Canada. You can look into those researches and you can see. You can ask your peers, your colleagues, friends, relatives who are in the same profession, and they'll give you a good feedback. Generally, accountants are considered for immigration purposes by most of the provinces. I've seen Alberta preferring finance and accounting professionals, even Ontario. So they are in demand. And if you are if you have 1 year of job experience, you have to look at how many ranking points you have in order to determine where do you stand in terms of being considered by under federal skilled worker program or any other provinces. Okay. Sajid is providing us details about his qualifications and everything. Sajid, as I indicated earlier, please complete our form. I can see that your IELTS score is 5.0. I believe you need to improve it to at least 6 in each component. Do so, and you'll be okay, I hope. Abdul Hasib is saying he's done MS Computer Sciences, 18 years of education. What would we suggest? Skill immigration or carry on with studies? He's 27 years of age. So basically, these two are different streams. Although student visa would help you in applying for permanent residence in the long run. A lot of people they are young. They have intentions of studying, but they do also qualify under the federal skilled worker program or provincial program. And they immigrate to Canada and then they start studying. That helps them save money, because when you come to Canada as an international student, you have to pay from your pocket. So naturally, it might be useful for you to come to Canada as a skilled worker if you are qualifying. But if not, and if you are struggling to for any reason in terms of points or anything, and you're waiting, and you do have intentions of studying in Canada genuinely, and at the end of the day, you do have the option of immigrating as well if you desire, maybe a good option. Okay, so we have to hurry up, and I'll try to add Kwajanaman once again. It's been a struggle. The internet has been acting up. We'll just take a very short break, and when we come back, we will resume the questions. Okay, welcome back. And immediately we need to dive into questions because we are already 43 minutes into our session today, and we have to wrap it up quickly, but I'll try to attend as many as I can. Okay. Humayun Sufi is asking, want to get an assessment for myself. Are you offering one-to-one sessions? Yeah, so sometimes it is important to go into one-on-one session, but our assessment is free. You can complete our assessment form on our website. We make an assessment, and if you don't appear to qualify, we advise you. If you appear to qualify, and so we of course give you options as to which program. If there is further assistance needed or consultations needed to clarify, or sometimes clients are really interested in going one-to-one and discuss, you can do it directly. We have a book a consultation link on our website. You can do it directly, or you can complete the assessment form, go through the free assessment procedure, and then decide if you want to go on a one-on-one session. Okay. Thank you. Let's move ahead, and we have another question. Javed Iqbal saying, age is 36, education is BA in mass communication from Allama Iqbal Open University, Islamabad. So yeah, it's a recognized university, and I can see a BA in mass communication. So I'm assuming it's a 4 years bachelor's degree. Age, yes, you're losing some points of the age factor. We need to know your work experience, job duties, job description that can come from your work, your CV. So when you complete and as you indicated that you are a Montessori teacher with 10 years of experience, we'll take that into account when you provide us details. Okay. Okay. There is a very relevant question coming from Samuel Salmon, and he's asking, what about the vaccination? The vaccination you've taken in certain country like in Pakistan, will we be able to travel to Canada? Is it acceptable by the Canadian government? So it has not been determined as to which vaccination would be accepted or which not. I believe there won't be any discrimination against any vaccination. I'm not sure about that. It is something that the Canadian government has to decide. But as of now, there is no such indication. Borders are closed at the moment, and we are moving toward the situation where most of the Canadians will be vaccinated. At the moment, in Ontario, where I am located, 70% of people have received at least one dose, and then some of them have received the second dose as well. So we are moving toward a summer where at least one dose people would be prevailing, and then by September, I believe most of Canadians will be vaccinated, and when that happens, we can expect U.S. Canadian border to open first, and then border to be open for international visitors and immigrants and international students. So we are not there yet, but we are moving toward that. So to answer the question, we have to wait and see. Okay. And by the way, Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister, was in was attending the G7. I believe one of the points they discussed with the European leaders was development of some sort of vaccine certificate or so-called vaccine passport. So the future is very much obvious that there'll be travel constraints, but yes, human beings have to travel, and there'll be ways determined very, very soon. Okay, I'll try to add Khwaja. I think his internet seems to be working. Congratulations. Uh, what's going on? I think there's an internet issue going on at your end, I guess.
Yeah, the internet issue was going on.
Okay,
Perhaps the
welcome.
electricity issue is very common.
Welcome to the show. Albeit you're joining a bit late, we'll try to cover some of the questions with you. And in that, I've tried to cover as much, but I think my old age is catching up on me. So younger people like yourself are very useful. Uh, so there is a question being asked: is there any chance for a married person with only teaching experience with basic education from Pakistan? So I'll hand it over to Khwaja for this answer because he joined late and he deserves that.
Thank you, Amir Sab. Is there a chance for a married person with only teaching experience, with only basic education from Pakistan? So we need to see what education that you hold, Nawaz. We need to see whether this is equivalent to as per the Canadian standards as well. We can see and we can assess, obviously. First of all, fill out our assessment form, Ms. Nawaz. I would suggest that so that we can assess it quickly. Seems like you could stand a good chance, but still we need to see a lot of the factors such as age, education, experience. The all factors need to account for to make a quick assessment uh, about your profile. So let's fill out our assessment form at our website and we'll assess it for sure.
Yeah, so that was about the answer I thought as well. Um, I'll take this question of Medat Samir, and he's saying that he's 55 years of age. He's an Egyptian, 26 years of hotel experience. He's currently a GM, and he wants to know about investment opportunity. So, Medat, there are several programs that serve the purpose in Canada, um, and those are targeted toward senior managers who have good personal net worth. They have the senior management experience that can be utilized to establish a business in Canada. And that business can be something that you have been doing for the past several years in your life. It could be anything that is related to what you have done in your life. And if you have sufficient net worth, which is usually not that much, net worth actually relates to something that you own in terms of assets, the full amount of assets. It can be your real estate property, it can be your savings, shares, bonds, any inventories there where you have invested the money. And the total amount is usually starts from a meager 500,000 US dollars. And you're not supposed to bring that 500,000 US dollars. The minimum amount usually required to establish a business the lowest amount is usually $200,000. It starts from $200,000. So, but for example, and it varies incredibly. If you are interested in investing in a bigger city like Toronto, for example, the investment might start from $600,000 if you are interested in establishing a business in the greater Toronto area. But if it is in the suburb, for example, if you chose a city west of Toronto in Cambridge, east of Toronto in Kingston, north of Toronto in Barrie, outside the GTA area, the amount required to be invested can go down even to $200,000. And there is a variety of programs available in each province. Every province is actually competing to grab the attention of international entrepreneurs, high net worth applicants, senior managers like you are, general manager. The catch is that you should be able to convince these immigration authorities, these provincial authorities, that your proposal is very, very effective. It is practical. You will be able to establish, and you have the capacity to establish, and it makes sense for you to take up that project. So I would always suggest that you book a one-on-one consultation with us. There is a link available that will give us an opportunity to select the best option for you, depending on your preference, depending on your net worth, and depending on the nature of your business. So yes, you one business might not be suitable for Prince Edward Island, the other might not be suitable for Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Alberta, British Columbia, Newfoundland, you name it, New Brunswick. We have got Quebec as well. We have lots of options, and then we have the option of investment program as well, where you don't have to establish a business. That program is on hold at the moment, but we are expecting that's going to start. So yeah, get in touch with our team, or you can complete our assessment form for business people on our website. But the best way could be to book a consultation to allow us to make an assessment. Okay, so there is another question coming in, and Noreen Mahmoud Qureshi, thank you for joining us. If I remember correctly, you are in PIA. I'm sorry if I'm disclosing too much of the details, but thank you, because you are an ardent fan. Thank you. I would request Naman Saab to jump into it and quickly answer the question.
Yeah, as we know, intake of the application is ongoing. We understand in terms of processing timelines of the visitor visas has been extensive these days because of the COVID, but it's going to improve for sure by the time passes. But in order to get the visitor visa, naturally, there are a few things we need to ponder. We need to review, obviously, in terms of your travel history, in terms of your financial capability, in terms of your purpose of visiting Canada. So we need to evaluate those things with you, and then obviously we can naturally guide you what documentation required in that purpose. So fill out our assessment form for visitor visa as well, available on our website, amirsmile.com, so you can visit it and fill out our form. We'll evaluate you and give you set aside as a time to assist you in this purpose as well.
Wonderful. That surely we're going to do, Noreen, for you. And thank you for being with us today. We have Jamil joining us from YouTube. So good to see a lot of people joining us from YouTube today. Thanks, everyone. And make sure that you share it, because the more you share it, the more people would be able to get answers to their immigration or otherwise questions. Jamil is saying when FSW draw will happen and what was the last score of the draw. So the last score for the draw was sometimes last year, because FSW draw haven't happened for the last 6 months, and I think it was hovering around 470 or something. So needless to say, it was very high, but we are expecting that these draw are going to happen again sometimes in September or so. And if that, and initially the score would be high. In the meantime, a lot of people are getting out of the pool, exiting from the pool, the Canada Experience Class applicants, the PNP applicants. So hopefully, when they start, initially it will be higher ranking score, but might go down. But we'll see what happens, because last year also it went all the way to September, October, and then few draws happened. And for 3-4 months, Canada has a lot of inventory of applicants in the form of international students here and work permit holders already here. So in terms of immigration inventory, they don't really have any problems. So it might go all the way to the end of the year, but we'll see. It's very unpredictable, and right now the situation surrounding virus is also under control. Hopefully it remains under control. There are no new variants coming in, so hopefully it's going to be okay. Okay, Mad Yarkhan is saying at age 47, is there any option to qualify? We can look into the PNP option, Mad, because when you lose all your points in the age factor, it becomes difficult to even meet the minimum requirements, to be very frank. But we'll see. A lot of people who do qualify. We might qualify in other options, like coming to Canada as an entrepreneur if you have senior management experience. Provide us further details by way of our assessment form, complete even a skilled worker form. If you qualify under the entrepreneur program, we'll discuss with you. Okay. Khalil Malik is from joining us from LinkedIn and asking about chances of getting student visa if the university he gets admission from is not very highly ranked. I don't think so. Ranking of the university has anything to do with the visa. I've seen people getting admission in University of Toronto getting refusal, and people getting admission in less known universities. I don't think so. There is any impact. Kajun Aman might want to differ with me, so let me ask him very, very quickly if he has any other thing to say. Let me just open his mic. You have to open your mic, Naman Saab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Amir Saab. You're absolutely correct. It doesn't have any impact. But usually there is a myth going on. People used to ask this question, okay, that whether it's going to impact or not, because naturally there is a rumor going on that you go to the colleges perhaps has a reduced visa chances.
Sure.
Yes, it does. It doesn't have any at that much impact, but nevertheless, it's like if you get hold of any admission and it is from the DLI, that the designated learning institution, you can apply for study visa.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Shahid Rizvi Saab is asking, is it right time for the visit visa? Basically, I want to see myself. So, Rizvi Saab, people are not being allowed to come to Canada, but visitor visa application processing is going on for sure. I would always recommend that you apply for it because those who are applying, they are going in a queue. So when they finally start processing them at a higher speed, because they are of course eyeing on the border opening. So as soon as border open, they will start and they will speed up processing of visitor visa, and naturally they are going to process those who have applied before you. So you're going to be delayed. So better get your application in and get it processed. Okay, so Dr. Niaz Hussain Arija is saying he's 44, PhD, computer science from UK, 18 years teaching experience, various certificates, and what are job opportunities and what is immigration process. So Dr. Saab, provide us your details by way of our assessment form. We can look into the possibility of PNP program, especially because you're losing considerable points in the age factor. Job opportunities I can't comment because we don't assess in job offers. You need to deal with a licensed recruiter base in Canada and make sure that you don't pay them any money. They are not supposed to. They are not allowed to charge you any money to help you in securing a job. Or you can do your own research on LinkedIn or other job sites, but make sure that you don't pay anyone anything because that is not the way it works in Canada. Okay, so there's someone who's saying hello and LinkedIn users. I'm not too sure, but hello back. Sayyid Ali, thank you for joining us. Zishan is saying that, okay, thanks for identifying yourself, Zishan. Asif Khan is saying he's 29. He has done BSc in biological sciences. He's done BSc in clinical laboratory sciences. Has got 6 years. So he's a double bachelor's degree holder in his field. He's recently has passed American Society for Clinical Pathology exam. Job opportunities and what is the immigration process. So Asif, as I indicated to the other inquirer, that we can help you in immigration procedures. We are licensed to provide you immigration advice, and we can help you in immigration process. We can determine your eligibility on the face of it. You appear to be a good candidate, and the reason I like your profile more is because you are not yet 30. So before you turn 30, you're not losing any points. So better get it going before you turn 30. That's one. Secondly, you have two bachelor's degrees. I believe that both of them are like 4 years or 3 years each. So that is going to help you in claiming more points in the education factor. Plus, you are internationally recognized as well. And I'm sure that you've got good, naturally, you've already mentioned 6 years of work experience. So that makes you a good candidate for the federal program as well as the provincial program. As earlier I indicated earlier, you can complete our assessment form, and I can get back to you with a okay. So someone is saying that he has recommended few potential immigrants to us. What is your contact information that can be shared with them for an initial consultation. So thank you very much, first of all, for recommending us to us. These people, kind referrals are always appreciated. This is our the ticker that runs below, shows our website www.amirismail.com. It has all the contact details, WhatsApp number, phone numbers, email address, and our free assessment form. They can complete it. We can get back to them within 2 days. It's free. They can benefit from it, and if they wish to then proceed further, we'll be happy to assist them further as well. Okay, thank you, but appreciate your kind referrals. Nabil is saying he's a chemical engineer, 8 years of experience. He's 32, two spouses and 3 kids. So if I'm reading correctly, you are saying you have got two spouses and 3 kids. What are the chances if I go for immigration to Canada or Australia? The question, if this question is surrounding around two spouses, then you can always get in touch with our team to discuss that matter. If it is just a typo, I'm gonna ignore that. 32 spouse, 3 kids. We can make an assessment of your eligibility, whether you qualify or not. It appears that you do. You appear to meet the minimum requirements. You may not be scoring that high in the federal skilled worker program criteria, like 470, 480 points, because I can see that you're losing points in the age factor. On the face of it, you might have to rely on PNP, but you might have relatives in Canada, maybe that might help. So we have to look at it from the 360-degree point of view and then give you our opinion, okay? And Janvi has a follow-up comment that she meant to get PR. Does it add value to do masters from Canada? Yeah, I mean, you get more points, right? Before getting PR, you get more points. You get PR, and then you have a master's. So for the job prospects, yeah. But I'm sorry if I'm not understanding your questions correctly. So maybe sometime when we speak one-on-one, you'll be able to ask me. Okay, so someone is asking 15 years of teaching experience, also international school training from Islamabad International School. Can she get the chance to get Canadian immigration? Yeah, we can make an assessment because, as we indicated earlier, there are other factors in play as well. There's this age factor, the education factor, work experience, language skills, spouses skills. If you are married, presence of a relative in Canada, so we can figure out. Janvi, thank you very much. You're very welcome for attending today, and we hope to see you again in our broadcast. Bilal Wahid, we can't give you anything for sure, but my idea is it might start from September, so you have to wait until such time. Okay, so many more comments to attend to. We really have to hurry them up, and let's see, we can attend to as many as we could. Amber is saying, sister is gold medalist pharmacist working with the Farmevo company. Husband is CA. They both are below 30 and 3 years of experience. The profession seems to be a very, very good profile. Both of them qualified below the age of 30. They have got professional degrees. Yeah, I mean, they have very nice profile. We can make an assessment as well if you want. It's free. Get onto our website and we'll be able to assess. Said Vasi is saying, I already filled up the form on your website. Brother is in the USA, want to immigrate there with my family. Kindly explain a bit, also include the cost. So we are not assisting in USA immigration unless you are applying under an investor program. If you're applying, or if your question is about sponsorship or going there as a professional skilled worker, we would not be able to help you. So sorry about that. Okay, so Vase, and then we have Zafa, Muhammad Zafa, Ijaz 35, 2 or more degrees, level in IT 7, NOC 0213. It makes my score 379. So I would say don't lose hope. Keep on trying on PNP programs, and I believe you are already. But if you do need any assistance in any PNP programs, get in touch with us. If you are in Karachi, if you're in Pakistan, might be a good idea to get in touch with my Karachi office. It is led by the very person on the screen, Khwaja Numan Ahmad, very experienced and has got good knowledge in this area, and we both work together so that we can provide best of the best advice to our clients, especially clients from Pakistan, and they can get in touch with Numan Saab. Very instrumental, and has been associated with our team for the last many years. So he's very reliable, and naturally, when he gets in touch with you, we also come into picture as well. So you can be rest assured that the whole team has your back. Okay, so we'll do that. Aksa is saying when Newfoundland Priority Skill Draw will open again. So Aksa, we have got no idea that it started for a very short period of time. It got closed, so you'll have to keep an eye on it. Okay. So I think we were able to answer the question. Huma Salim saying, are you taking calls in session? How can I make a call? So I'm sorry we are not taking calls today. We tried to take people online on a screen. We are planning to do that next week. But yes, we do take calls sometimes on our WhatsApp. We'll do that. Thanks for reminding me. That is actually helpful. We'll do that the next time. But you can make a call without the session, right? Not a problem. Rashid is saying, how do we calculate points? So there are lots of resources available online. You can go to www.cic.gc.ca. That's the official website. You can do that over there. If you want us to assist you, you can complete our assessment form. We'll be able to help you. Is auditing included skill worker program? Auditors are very much included. They are in high demand, accountants and auditors. If you are an accountant or auditor, yeah, you are in. Sophie, thank you. You're welcome. Javed Abbasi is joining us from LinkedIn. I've not been able to get in touch with him for the last many years, and then COVID hit. So next time when I'm in Dubai, Javed, our meeting is due. Mohammed Ishtaq is 41, MA International Relations, MBA, UK, 6 years of experience as administrative officer. Can he apply? PNP? Yeah, so we can, as I said, we would be able to provide an opinion when you provide us further details in the form of our assessment form. Please complete it. We'll get back to you. And wonderful. Sana has an ECA, a master's degree, CLB 7, age 40. So I can see that you perhaps are losing points in the age factor and the language factor as well. PNP might be the option. If you've done your research, that's wonderful. If you want us to assist in that research, we'll be able to help you. Khwaja Numan will be able to help you. That will be an honor. Habib is from Bangladesh. Thank you for joining us today. We are being contacted far and wide today. The last session was also full of people from Europe, from Southeast Asia, South Asia, Middle East. That's wonderful to see. Zainab is joining us from YouTube. She's asking, do you handle your clients personally? Success rate, I've received study permit refusal. I'm looking for genuine consultant. Please apply. So Zainab, yes, this is what we do here. I deal with my clients personally. Success rate, of course, it depends on what kind of case we are dealing with. The success rate, I think, would always depend on a consultant's compromise on the quality of the case they take up. So if I take up cases that do not actually cut the grid in first place, and I take 2 good cases and 100 bad cases, naturally my success rate would be like 2%. But if I do the reverse and I don't take up any bad case, but somehow there was an issue where someone was not did not receive an invitation to apply because their profession was not considered, that is not a failure. That is basically part of the procedure. So if that is the rule, then of course the success rate will always be better. So this is the rule that we have adopted for the last several years from the time of our inception. Don't compromise on the quality of cases. Your success rate would be directly proportional. Like, if you don't take bad cases, you will always be okay. And the reason why perhaps we have a better client retention is because we deal with them on a personal level rather than hiring people in the local market and handing over them to those people who have never been to Canada themselves, are not trained, not licensed. What we do is we first of all utilize experienced people like Koja Noman, for example. And for one, I deal with people personally. He can vouch for it that clients retained at AIA, everyone has to deal with Amir Ismail on a personal level. So I do it because I'm accountable, and that is something that I enjoy immensely. I love it. So yeah, we'll do that. And from the point of view of genuine, you can check our authenticity, our license number, our success stories for the last 30 years. And if you are convinced, I would be happy to deal with you personally, Zainab. Thank you for joining us today. Okay. Shazeb Shamim, investment requirement through business visa in Alberta or British Columbia. So there are various streams, and we can look into it. I can give you a rough idea that we usually have around a net worth of $500,000 to $600,000 minimum, and an investment of around $200,000 to $400,000. But it varies from from province to province. So yeah, get in touch with us, and we'll discuss. Junaid is saying, can he apply for visit visa for his mom if I have achieved the income level but don't have a job, right? But my wife do. I'm trying to sponsor her. So sponsorship, as you know, would resume or start or commence, I believe, next year now. Whenever it opens, you can sponsor your mother if you're meeting the income level. But if you have a spouse who can be a co-signer, and if she's earning, that can be considered. So 3 years, past 3 years, income tax returns would be required. If you need any assistance in sponsorship of your mom, or if you need any assistance in visit visa for your mom or super visa for your mom, please feel free to get in touch with me. I believe you are in Canada. If you're in Toronto, wonderful, or even in Canada, anywhere. I'm in Toronto. Office is in downtown Toronto. Get in touch with us. We might not be able to meet because of the COVID restrictions, but we can always talk, right? So get in touch with me. Okay. Okay. So we have answered this. Gaur saying, what about if I want to start a food truck business? So you can start any sort of business. It really depends the province you have chosen, because some provinces would restrict some of the businesses. So we can look into the possibility of that. And Arsalan is saying, what are the CRS points going for now for express entry? So there is no CRS points going on for express entry. Express entry is only a file management system. You might be asking, what is the CRS going or going CRS point rather for federal skilled worker program or PNP, right? So in PNP, you get 600 extra points. Usually the PNP scores are like 700 or 800. So basically, if you have even 200 CRS point, you get selected under PNP because you got 600 extra points. For federal skilled worker programs, it usually hovers around 450 to 470. So maybe your question was, what are those CRS points for those categories? But both are dealt under the express entry file management system, okay? Okay, so we have several other questions. I might not be able to entertain all of them, I believe. We have to hurry up very, 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 very quickly. Let's see. Sarah Khan's husband is 45. She is 36. Yes, Sarah, please provide us your details. You appear to be a better candidate in terms of younger applicants. We can do your assessment, complete our form. And Shah Khan is saying that he's 41, MBA in HR, sister is residing, so that is helpful. You get 15 extra points, but you still lose a lot of points in the age factor, so we have to look into the PNP option. And so Zainab, we have answered your question, I believe, in detail. So hopefully that has answered the question, but please get in touch with us personally as well. Awais, his wife is a registered nurse in Malaysian Government Hospital. She has 10 years of experience. She is Malaysian national. He's from Pakistan, and they both want to migrate to Canada with their 2 kids. So ways that it would be great to assist you both, and we'll make an assessment first to make sure that you do meet the minimum requirement. complete our assessment form. We'll be happy to assist. Nurses are in demand. They are being nominated by a lot of provinces, specifically Alberta, and many other provinces. Some of them have actually prioritized nurses. Nova Scotia, in fact, had conducted one draw specifically for nurses last year. So very much in demand. But we'll see where you stand, and we want to be sure before we proceed further. Okay. Khalid Mahmood is saying from Riyadh, MPhil, geomatics, and 12 years of experience, 37 age, and he wants advice on immigration. So Khalid, again, good educational qualification, good work experience, nice exposure. Age might be a bit of a concern, losing points there, but we'll make an assessment, complete our assessment form, and we'll get back to you. Okay. I'm just hurrying up. Just bear with me, guys, because I just want to address everyone before we leave today. Even we have to wait for a little while, 10 more minutes. Zen is saying that he's got 2 years of experience in finance and accounting, also completed his MBA. Easiest way. So it appears to be a very, very good case. And I believe you're below the age of 30. If not, please excuse me. But it really doesn't matter even if you are slightly above the age of 30, 32 to 35, if you have a master's degree. And maybe your work experience, of course, that's increasing, right? If it touches 3 years, it's going to be wonderful. We'll see if there are other factors in play. For example, if you are married, if you have relatives in Canada. So our assessment form is designed in such a way that it actually encompasses all the information that is needed to make an accurate assessment. And that is going to be very, very helpful if you complete the assessment form. Okay. And we have Javed Abaji Saab is acknowledging that, yeah, so we are all going through the same dilemma, right? Restricted in our home countries. So we'll be traveling soon. Wajid Hussain is saying, my sibling live in Canada. Is there any chance to apply study permit? Rejection cases a lot and have, yes, the rejection rate is there for Canadian visa. If you make sure that you have provided all the documentation, everything is in order, you improve your chances. So you don't leave any stone unturned, cover all your bases, and hopefully it's not going to happen. If you've got siblings in Canada, that might be helpful because, that helps in your boarding and lodging. Maybe it saves you some tons of money. Okay, Sarah is saying, will you recommend us PNP? We'll look into it. We'll look into all the details, and if it comes down to PNP, naturally we will consider. Gohar is saying his son is 29, has done his master's electronics. He is production manager at an MDF industry. What is the best for him to apply for immigration? So Gohar, it seems to be a good case because Canadian government is prioritizing or preferring younger applicants, especially when they are below the age of 30. They start deducting points from age 30. So he's in the very, very right age bracket at the moment. He's got a master's degree as well, which is also very good. I'm assuming he's got 2-3 years of work experience as well. That is wonderful as well. I'm also assuming that he's fluent in English. So yeah, he can complete our assessment form, or if you are in LinkedIn and you can send me a message, I'll get back to you. There's a LinkedIn user asking, chance to get a PR Canada increase if I do masters from Canada and then 2 years work from there, would I be eligible to apply for and if I will have more chances to get PR of Canada after investing 4 years there? Yeah, so it really depends. If you complete your education from Canada, of course, it increases your points because there are additional points for Canadian education. And when you accumulate more experience, depending on the level of work experience, like a lot of people, there are requirements. There is a program specifically for people who graduate and then work on a postgraduate work permit. It's called Canada Experience Class. So your friend can search Canada Experience Class, and his chances of getting immigration increases under that program because there is a policy that prefers to accommodate international students, right? Okay, so let's see what else can we do. Peter is asking, what are the chances that CRS for skilled worker will drop in question 3, question 4, in quarter 3, quarter 4, taking in consideration that there were no ITA this year so far, only CCPNP, but government increased immigrant target over 400. So we really need to see, Peter. I think when they restart, when they resume federal skilled worker applicants, if you look at the composition of the pool, there is a link on the CIC website that shows how many people with certain group of CRS are there, and that group of 470 to 500, it's increasing exponentially because they are waiting, right? So as soon as they start, you would see that the initial few draws would be actually on a higher point rank. And if you talk about the achieving the target, Canada might be able to sacrifice a little bit because of this corona situation, but they might not have to, because they do have a big inventory of international students graduating and then paving their way. They in fact started separate streams for them in addition to CEC. So you can see how quickly they are moving toward that model, adopting that model, where they are, meeting their need of new immigrants by way of just entertaining international students. So in my calculation, even if they don't resume federal skilled worker program applicant, they would still be able to achieve the target. If not, and if missing, it would not be by a very big margin. Okay. So I think that concludes our today's session. That was a wonderful, wonderful session. If you guys are interested in getting further advice, I would recommend that you visit our website. It's in the ticker going down. It has all our details, www.amirismail.com. And if you have any questions, you can also send us a WhatsApp message, and I'll show you. That's not the live calls. Yeah, but just ignore the live calls. The WhatsApp message is WhatsApp number is 647-835-0660. You can send us a message, and as always, we would be looking forward to speaking to you guys next Friday. So feel free to join us and let your friends and relatives know about it. And we look forward to seeing you the next time. Until then, goodbye from us from Toronto. Take care.